The French Revolution was a radical, multifaceted upheaval that began in 1789 and lasted about a decade. It emerged from deep-seated social inequality, fiscal crises, and a rising tide of Enlightenment ideas that questioned the legitimacy of absolute monarchy. The common people, fed up with heavy taxation and the privileges enjoyed by the aristocracy and clergy, united to overthrow the old order. Key moments like the storming of the Bastille symbolized a break with the past, while later events, the establishment of a republic, the execution of King Louis XVI, and the notorious Reign of Terror, highlighted both the promise and the peril of revolutionary change. Ultimately, the upheaval paved the way for modern concepts of citizenship and rights, even though it also demonstrated how revolutionary fervor can descend into extreme violence and repression. In theory, any society under extreme stress, marked by crushing inequality, unresponsive governance, and widespread disenchantment, could see a revolutionary crisis reminiscent of 18th century France. However, modern states usually have more robust institutional checks and balances, transparent legal systems, and avenues for peaceful change, such as free elections, a free press, and civil society organizations. This doesn't make revolutions impossible. Recent examples like the Arab Spring show that rapid, radical change can still occur, but the context is very different today. Global interconnectedness, international oversight, and technology both empower citizens and allow governments to respond more quickly to emerging crises, which can sometimes help diffuse revolutionary pressures before they reach the scale of the French example. Government reliability tends to depend on the nature of the regime and the strength of its institutions. In pre-revolutionary France, the monarchy and its institutions were so disconnected from the populace that they failed to adapt to fiscal and social crises. Today, established democracies generally offer multiple channels for accountability and reform, which can prevent crises from spiraling out of control. On the other hand, states with weak institutions or authoritarian governments may lack the capacity to respond effectively to citizen grievances, making them more vulnerable to dramatic, often violent upheavals. In both cases, the reliability of governance hinges on how responsive and adaptable political institutions are to the needs of their people. In stable democracies with functioning institutions, citizens generally enjoy a degree of protection and can influence government policies through elections, public debate, and legal recourse. Yet even in these systems, governments sometimes resort to emergency measures during crises, which can temporarily suspend civil liberties and place citizens at risk if misused. The French Revolution's own Reign of Terror is an extreme example where a revolutionary government, driven by fear and ideological zeal, inflicted widespread violence on its own citizens. Today, while the risk of such indiscriminate state violence is lower in well-established democracies, citizens in countries with repressive regimes or fragile political systems may still find themselves vulnerable if governments fail to uphold the rule of law and protect human rights. In summary, the French Revolution was both a profound moment of liberation and a cautionary tale about the costs of radical change. While the precise conditions that ignited that historic upheaval are rare today, thanks in part to modern institutions and global norms, the underlying potential for revolutionary change still exists in contexts marked by extreme inequality, corruption, and disconnect between rulers and the ruled. Ultimately, the safety of citizens and the reliability of government depend on the strength of democratic institutions and the ongoing commitment of both leaders and the public to uphold rights and accountability.